Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. We just hit 32.9k subscribers. Can we get to 33k? Please like this video down below and subscribe to the channel before we get started. And today I'm going to be doing my Senate map prediction for April. Right now it is April 6, 2020, and I'm going to be filling out this map state by state. I already filled out all of these safe states pretty much. I do think that Alabama is going to go for Tommy Tuberville or Jeff Sessions, whichever one it may be, by a safe margin. I'm going to put Alabama off the top of the bat in the safe column. So right now the Republicans have 42 seats. The Democrats have 41 seats. Can the Republicans hold the Senate? Can the Democrats take back the Senate? It's all going to start with the big bad battleground state of Maine, where it will be Sarah Gideon versus Susan Collins, most likely. I believe that Susan Collins is going to narrowly hold her seat because I think Trump has a potential chance to win Maine at large. All of his voters are basically going to be voting for Susan Collins. She did vote for Kavanaugh. She did vote against impeachment. However, she has just enough appeal across the aisle to win, but not by as much of a wide margin as she did in the past. She has a lot of Democrats that oppose her. A lot of Republicans oppose her too, but are going to vote for her. That's why her approval rating is so low. But I do believe that right now she's got the edge. She's got the name recognition. She's going to win independents probably, and she is going to take the state of Maine in the tilt column at a minimum, in my opinion. I have revised this down from the safe column roughly about a year ago when I did my first Senate prediction, but that's right now. We could easily change. It could flip into the Democrat column, or she could win it by a much wider margin. I think that is the most likely option if it changes. As for the big state of New Hampshire, the state of New Hampshire is going to go for the Democrat Jeanne Shaheen. Basically, as of right now, there's not a real Republican challenger. Do I think that there will be one that will cement and that will get some name recognition that Trump will prop up there? Yes, I do. I do believe it's going to be a closer race than some early polls have said that she's going to win by 10, 13. I think she's probably going to win it by 4 or 5 because, again, she did vote for impeachment. Donald Trump's not going to forget about it. I talk with these people. They say, oh, impeachment's not going to matter come election day because of the news cycle. But what's in between the news cycle? There's a little thing called advertisements, and there's a thing called Trump can put on these advertisements reminding people that they voted for impeaching him, and all of his supporters are going to be remembered by that, and they're going to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm going to look into the other guy. So I don't believe that Jeanne Shaheen is going to lose at the moment, but I do believe that she's not going to win by a big margin. I will put it lean to likely. I'm going to say 4 points right now, but anything can happen, anything can change. The state of West Virginia, Richard Ojeda is running against Shelley Moore Capito. I do believe that Richard Ojeda is a decent chance compared to an average Democrat in West Virginia. At the same time, he's moved far left even since his start of his joke of a 2020 presidential campaign. So I don't believe that he's going to be able to win. He couldn't even win his district. I don't believe that he's going to be able to win the state, and especially because it's national politics. It's much different than local politics. Yes, he can easily be elected to a state legislature, but he's not able to get elected to Congress or the Senate, so I don't believe that he is going to win the state of West Virginia. Similar thing in Kentucky. I do expect Mitch McConnell to hold his seat relatively no matter what, basically. People there want somebody that's going to be voting with Trump, even though they might not like Mitch McConnell. The Democrat opponent that compared Trump's win to 9/11 is not going to be better. And by the way, she couldn't even win her district in 2018 when it was a toss-up district. It stayed with the Republican. What makes you think she's going to be able to win the entire state of Kentucky? Yes, Andy Beshear won that election, but if that was a Senate election, I guarantee you Matt Bevin would have won probably by a likely margin. At a minimum, that's why I have Kentucky in the likely red column. A state that will be in the likely D column is the state of Virginia. Yes, we have good candidates. We have Omari Faulkner. I hope he is the nominee. I hope he does give Warner a run for his money, but at this moment, I really can't see him winning the state of Virginia. So for Virginia, I'm going to have to put that in likely D. However, that could change. You never know. We had scandals with Nordham. We had scandals with Justin Fairfax there. We had scandals with the Attorney General Mark Herring. So very well, there could be dirt that comes out. You never know. But as of right now, we're going to have to put it in the likely D column. I do believe that Warner will hold by probably 7 or 8 points at the moment, but it could create a future rising star in the Republican Party if Omari Faulkner is the nominee. As for the state of North Carolina, I do believe Thom Tillis is going to hold. Yes, early polling has not looked good for them, but it never really looks good for Republicans in the state of North Carolina. Tillis, I do believe, he's not super popular, but Cal Cunningham is a Democrat, and that's not going to play out well in a state where Donald Trump won by 4 points. He very well could win it by more this time. Right now, I'm going to have to put it in the tilt column. I say Thom Tillis wins by a very narrow margin. Georgia, one of their districts. Now let's move down to Georgia. Georgia, I do believe David Perdue is going to win over Ossoff by a likely margin. Again, Ossoff could not win that special election in a district that Hillary Clinton and Trump ran basically even on, and it was an election that was supposed to have more enthusiasm on the Democrat side, but it looks like that never surfaced, and that seat did flip back blue, ironically enough, in the 2018 midterm elections. Yes, that is a toss-up seat in 2020. Republicans could win it back, defeat David Perdue. Perdue is not even as a polarizing figure as even Karen Handel was, and he couldn't win that election. So as for the special election there going on, you have Democrats in the polling so far making up roughly 35 to 40% of voters supporting Democrats right now. There's even a possibility that Laufer and Collins could be the top tier. So I'm going to put this as likely again. It's very well could be closer to safe, but if it is a runoff between Doug Collins and some Democrat, I do believe that it's going to be a likely margin victory for Doug Collins, because you look at what happened with Laufer, you look at what happened to the insider trading scam, and that basically kind of killed her chances, but she still is going to get propped up by some of the Con Inc. folks. Just wait. The state of Michigan, I do believe I still am going to hold true to my convictions that John James is probably going to win the state of Michigan, because I do believe Trump will win and I believe James will win. Again, Gary Peters does not have great name recognition. He's winning some of the early polls right now, but again, John James was down almost 30 points in some polls in September, and he only lost by 6 last time. There's a lot of ground between now and the election. John James is a late riser. He hit the campaign trail pretty late last time around. He had a lot of ads that came in late, and basically what happened is he was able to build a name for himself, and he was able to have the election happen to be to the right of the national environment. I do believe he can do the same thing against Peters. He can tie Peters to China with what's going on right now, and I do believe that it is going to be an effective attack strategy. I do believe that Michigan is going to flip into the John James column, and he will be the first Republican senator in the state of Michigan since Spencer Abraham back right about the time I was born. So that's kind of a big feat for Republicans in this state. Moving over to Minnesota, Jason Lewis very well could give Tina Smith a run for her money. I do believe it is going to be close, but right now I'm going to have to put it in the lean Democrat column. Trump can win Minnesota, and if Trump happens to win the popular vote, it's very possible he could carry Lewis across the finish line. I like Jason Lewis a lot. I just don't see him winning the state of Minnesota. Moving over to the state of Iowa, Joni Ernst, I do believe that she is going to win. A lot of the polling we've seen, the real polling, not the morning consult fake aggregate garbage polling for the Senate races there, show that she's in very good shape. I don't know who the Democrat candidate is going to be for the Senate election. I do believe that most people understand that Ernst's opponent is probably going to be dead on arrival, and I do expect her to win by a comfortable margin. She's a very well-liked senator, despite some of the BS polling that we've seen out of Morning Compost. So moving over to Kansas, Kansas is a weird state. You would expect it to be safe red, and it could be, depending on the nominee, because you have many nominees running for it, and Chris Kobach is one of the front runners, and he's not super popular. So if it's him, I do believe he will win. However, he's not going to win by a massive margin. I expect him to underperform Donald Trump by probably more than 10 points in Kansas. So I do believe Kansas will be as a likely Republican state in the Senate election. Definitely, you have a lot of growth coming out of Kansas City. That's kind of what helped Laura Kelly win and cross the finish line back in 2018, but it's mainly because Chris Kobach is a very polarizing figure and not well liked. However, national environment races are much different than governor races. It doesn't matter about local issues as much as it matters about national issues, which brings us up to Montana, where Steen Daines is more than likely going to win the state of Montana by a likely margin. I'm pretty sure that he will. A lot of the polling data we have seen, there was one internal poll that had it within the margin of error, but I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. Basically, Bullock has great name recognition now, but at the same time, he only beat a young earth creationist by 4 percentage points in 2016. Donald Trump and Steve Daines ran consistently over him when you look at the margins of their elections in 2016 and 2014, respectively. I do expect Montana to stay in the Republican column in the Senate, and I don't believe that this is going to be a year where Democrats are going to go into Montana and pick up a Senate election, that they're probably going to have no chance. And I think Steve Bullock is honestly wasting his time running for Senate, if anything, at the moment. Similar thing with Texas. It's like you're going to have a Republican who's not a very polarizing figure and a very popular guy. By the way, speaking back of Montana, Greg Gianforte was not super popular in Montana. He is a convicted misdemeanor of assaulting a reporter and stuff like that, and he almost beat him in the governor's election. So I do believe that Texas is also going to be likely red because, again, Cornyn's not a very polarizing figure. Ted Cruz was, and I do believe that John Cornyn, he very may well outperform Donald Trump in the state. We really don't know who his opponent is, but they're not going to have that Beto media behind him, and a lot of Beto supporters now actually regret voting for him, and a lot of them learned their lesson. I don't believe Texas is going to be electing a Democrat senator anytime soon, especially not in a full turnout election. As for the state of New Mexico, I hope Republicans can field a good candidate here, but it's not like it's going to matter. I don't believe Republicans are going to spend too much time and energy or money in New Mexico, which is fine. We have many other states to worry about, but again, we'll have to see. It is an open seat. I do think New Mexico will be closer at the presidential level than it was in 2016 because you have the Gary Johnson voters that will probably more likely than not back Donald Trump because the third-party vote share is expected to decline this election, and I would really traditionally expect New Mexico to go likely Democrat anyways. I do believe the Democrat in the Senate candidate will probably win it by 7 points. Similar thing with Joe Biden in a general election. Now moving to the state of Colorado, this is a very unique election because Cory Gardner is not necessarily a super popular candidate. He's a Republican running in a state that is trending Democrat significantly fast, you could say, especially in elections like this. However, his opponent, John Hickenlooper, is under investigation and may actually lose the primary. It's not certain yet. If he loses the primary, it is a toss-up. If he does not lose the primary to his far-left challenger, it would be going to Hickenlooper by a likely margin. Right now, I'm going to split the difference and put Colorado in the lean blue column. Lastly, but not least, is the state of Arizona. And this could be anybody's game. Definitely early polling has Martha McSally down significantly to Mark Kelly. However, last time around in a Democrat +9 national environment, she had the early polls having her way down as well to Kyrsten Sinema. However, this is a presidential election. This really depends on will Trump be able to carry McSally over the finish line. She's not super popular, not well liked on the left, not well liked on the right. Personally, in my opinion, I do believe she has a chance, but at the moment, I'm going to have to say 60-40. It's going to go in Mark Kelly's column. He'll probably win it by less than 1 percentage point. I do expect Donald Trump and Mark Kelly to win the state of Arizona for better or worse. So anyways, guys, this is my Senate map, 53 for the Republicans, 47 for the Democrats. Republicans and Democrats are going to trade the seats of Colorado for Alabama and the state of Michigan for the state of Arizona. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like my video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, join the Discord, join the Patreon, join the subreddit, links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.